Breaking the cycle. I want to get this, amen. I want to get your attention. Breaking the generational cycle of faith. Welcome everybody this morning. I'll not keep you long. Family traits are often passed down from parents to children. Lord help me. Family traits are often passed down from parents to children, and this cycle has been repeated for thousands of years. Some of these traits may be positive and beneficial, like nurturing skills, like valuing hard work, valuing education. However, negative and destructive behavior is also passed down within families. Lord help me to preach it. Here's the long and short of it. Everybody in here today came from and is affected by a family tree. And somebody looking at me right now is still dealing with the fruit of your family tree. You're dealing today with some negative stuff that you inherited from your parents, your grandparents, and your great-grandparents. God says in Exodus 20, verses 5 and 6, I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children. Listen to this, to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing mercy to thousands, to those who love me and keep my commandments. Now, it's easy to believe from this reading of Exodus 20 verses 5 and 6, it's easy to believe that God simply punishes those who disrespect him and blesses those who love him, but that is not what this sentence says. A better way to understand Exodus 20 verses 5 and 6, a better way to understand this clause is to realize that family dysfunctions and their consequences can be passed down from parents to children and from generation to generation. Now, let's spin it out this way. There are second, third, and fourth generational folk all over our communities. Some of us come from family backgrounds of second and third generation drug and alcohol abusers. The family has a history of violence against women. There's some who come from a family with a history of violence against women. There are some who come from a family with a history of much talk and little action. There are some who come from a family with a history of divorce, or selfishness, or emotional disorders, or bitterness, or negativity, or greed, or anger, or drama. And unless we break this cycle, these traits may be passed down to our children. I wish I was in the Lord's house. Listen, can I help somebody just for a minute? You see, one's dysfunctional personal behavior becomes a model, our example to the next generation. Let me do it like this. How many of you know that your children, if you're a parent, and I know I got some parents who recognize this, that your children learn much of their behavior and their coping skills from their parents? How many of you know that? How many of you know that? All right. Now, if it has been proven in psychological tests and research, and it has been proven that one's dysfunctional personal behavior, it becomes a model. When a child sees daddy or sees mama cuss everybody out when she becomes or he becomes stressed, then that child learns that as a coping skill. Oh, you don't like that. When a child sees that the way that a father handles difficulty is to flee. Oh my God, we go kill another. Then guess what? Then that child learns that behavior. You see, everybody in here, whether you recognize it, if you're a parent, you are a model. Even if you aren't a parent, you are a model, or you are an example to the next generation. And the cycle can be repeated over and over again, and often this cycle continues until someone realizes that he or she can be the one to break the cycle and make a difference. Oh, I know I'm telling the truth up in here. How many times have we had this happen to us? We want to improve our marriage, but then somebody, one spouse or the other, opens up an old wound and the fussing and fighting starts up again. We decide to be better parents, but then our children make another irresponsible choice and we lose our temper again. We plan to be more responsible with our money, but we get caught up and we overspend again. Instead of moving forward and making progress, we find ourselves stuck on the same hamster wheel. And our lives won't change until we choose to change our trajectory. Oh my God. Listen. You look around, you can tell. Watch this. How many of you, here's an example. How many of you say, you've seen somebody behave in a certain way and you said, or you heard it said, that's in their family. All right. But yeah, how many of you have seen somebody behave an adult behave and said, and heard somebody say, I knew their father. That he's acting just like his dad. I knew that his or her mother and he's acting just like his mother. How many of you had that experience? Yes. And so we get caught in a generational cycle of failure. And that's exactly what the nation of Israel, that's where they were when Gideon came on the scene. Judges 6 verse 1, watch this, describes it this way. Again, somebody shout it again. That's where it starts off. Again, the Israelites did evil in the sight of the Lord. Again, the Israelites did evil in the sight of the Lord. Please note the word again. Somebody shout it again. Okay, now the writer makes it clear that the Israelites were stuck in a cycle of failure. I don't dare you to read Judges because you'll see that that is what is going on, a recurring cycle over and over again. That's what's going on in the book of Judges. Amen. And the writer makes it clear that the Israelites were stuck in a cycle of failure. At this point in history, these descendants of slaves were living in the land of promise. Where were they living? They were living in the land of promise. They were living in the place God had promised to Abraham. The place, not only promised, but God gave to Abraham. Because that's what God said, I've given you. They were living in the place of God's provision. They were living in the place of blessing. They call it a land flowing with milk and honey. They were living in the land that Moses led them to and that Joshua conquered. Yet, we read in Judges 6 that Israel found themselves in the vicious cycle of ignoring and neglecting God. And then, somebody shouted, and then they would sin, and then God would allow their enemies, in this case the Midianites, to overrun them. Then they would repent. Israel would repent of their ways, and they would cry out to God for mercy, and finally God would deliver them and restore them, and then Israel would enjoy peace for a while, but soon the entire roller coaster ride would begin again, and like a pig going to water in the mud, and like a dog going back to his own vomit, Israel returned to that cycle of faith. Israel's story, dear heart, is our story. Is there anybody in the house? Israel's story is our story. We are prone to repeat actions, and we fail to live and learn lessons. It's like that story, Wonder Holland, that we've heard almost ad nauseum preached, told from pulpits across this country about the woman who was in the kitchen, and another her sister asked her, said, why do you cut? She was putting ham in a pan, and why do you cut the ham to put it in the pan? And why don't you just use a bigger pan? Why don't you use an alternative method or something or other? And you know what she said? She said, I don't know why I'm doing it. My mama did it. My mama did it. She did it. And we do that, don't we? We do that. We're prone to repeat actions. We'll even say, I'm acting, you know what? I'm acting just like my mama. How many of you been there? You even say, I'm acting just like my dad. We'll even say that. We're prone to repeat actions, and we fail to live and learn lessons. You see, dear hearts, this morning I'm here to tell you that we need to overcome our cycles of failure. Why don't you have me preach to your neighbor? Tell your neighbor, we need to overcome our cycles of failure. We need to overcome, Jackie, we need to overcome our cycles of failure and not end up like Israel, doing the same stuff over and over and over and over again. Listen, how do we break the cycle of generational failure? Well, first, and I want you to note this, please, because there's a special problem. Let me say it without stumbling. I want you to note this because there's a spiritual principle behind it. So, first of all, we need to choose to change. Look at somebody and tell them, we need to choose to change. We need to choose to change. We need to choose. If you're tired of being depressed all the time, like Mama and them were, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired of responding to problems and issues by wilding out, go and get a drink. I wish I had some witnesses here. I don't feel good. I need something to calm me down. And I don't know what to drink, but Papa used to drink gin. I know y'all don't know what that is, but Medea and Nonamine, they used to drink vodka. I wish I had some help up in here. My uncle. Because I stayed with my aunt and my uncle would go get high on some pharmaceutical concoction. And so I've learned that the best way to cope is to just really kind of get out of it and get away from it. Just say amen. So you got to choose to change. You see, failure, here it is. You can tweet this. Failure, like success, is a matter of choice. Failure, like success, is a matter of choice. Is anybody getting this? Neither success nor failure is the result of a random set of coincidences determined. Watch it, it's not determined by luck. It's not determined by fate or right or birth. We are where we are today because of a series of decisions we chose or chose not to make over the course of all of our yesterdays. Help me, Holy Ghost. Let me say that again. You kind of nodded on me. We are where we are today because of a series of decisions we chose not to make over the course of all of our yesterdays. No, there's no use in my griping about who did something to me. I made a choice, especially if I'm over 40. Because I've already told you, your face over 40 is your own fault. Hello, somebody. If I am old enough to make decisions, the government says at least 18. Do I have any help in this house? The government says at least 18. And listen, if I'm old enough to make decisions, then I have to be careful about and more intentional about my choices. Is there anybody here? And you see, listen, we are what we are today because of a series of decisions. Did you hear that? Listen, you're here. You remember, we talk about it all the time, I allude to it all the time, in the mall, you are here. You're here. You're here is the result of a series of decisions you chose or chose not to make over the course of all of your yesterdays. Help me, Holy Ghost. Listen, some of us have been conditioned by past experiences to conclude that nothing can or will ever happen in our lives. And that's not true. Let me push the rewind button and say that again. Some of us have been conditioned by past experiences to conclude that nothing good can or will ever happen in our lives. Have you ever hung around people who are negaholics? They can't see the rose for the thorns. Have you ever been around people like that? Or maybe you're a person like that? The thing is, I have good news for you this morning. You can get off the roller coaster. Oh, I thought somebody would shout right then. Look at 3 people telling you can get off the roller coaster. You don't have to go through what your parents went through. You don't have to respond the way they responded. You don't have to do what they did in situations of stress and distress. You don't have to walk around broke because a big daddy was broke all the time. You don't have to be like Papa was a wherever he laid his hat was his home. And I wish you knew the Bible like you know that song. I had to move the mic because you would have sung all of it. But some of us have been conditioned by the stuff we've had to deal with, by our past experiences, to conclude that nothing good can or ever will happen in our lives. And you know what? That's a lie straight from the pit of hell. You can get off the roller coaster. You don't have to be hardwired to a bad situation. You don't have to be destined for a bad outcome. You can choose to get up. You can choose to share whatever is holding you captive, and you can move forward toward the fullness of all God has for you, not limited by the labels culture has placed on you. Oh God, help me to preach it with clarity. Listen. Can I have somebody here? Listen, you don't have to walk around with all the labels. You see, in New Jack City, Pookie. Some of us feel toward the pattern of behavior that we've established, the recurrent patterns of behavior. We feel like Pookie felt like that cracker said, it just keeps calling. Hello, somebody. Listen, you can choose to get up right now. Some of y'all don't remember him, but that was a man who used to be by the name of James Brown. He said, get up! Get on up. You can choose to get up. Amen. Amen. Watch this. Some stuff, Elder T, some stuff, you need to delete. Hello, somebody. You need to push the delete button on some stuff. Hello, somebody. Some of those things that are holding you back, some of those attitudes, because it's not always other people. Oh my God, y'all don't like me. Tell somebody it's not always other people. It's not always other people. As I said last week, what did Popo say? We met the enemy, and the enemy is us. Michael Jackson says, I'm talking about the man in the mirror. Hello, somebody. And so it's important. You need to hear this. You need to hear that. We're limited by, some of us have accepted the label. We call each other by the labels that culture has placed on us. I wish I could say it, but we talk about the N word. And then we call each other. We try to have different ways of saying it. And I'm not really talking about that. When I say Nigga, I'm talking, now come on now. And we call each other, we refer to each other. I've never, Sister Swoop, I never thought that I would live long enough to hear a sister, a queen, a descendant of royalty. I never thought I would live to hear a sister, Valencia, respond when somebody else called her B. Anybody knows what I'm talking about? I heard. Listen. I was at Velvet's. I was at a store in the mall, Parks Mall. I was at the store. Elaine, I was at the store, and Pat, I was at the store, and guess what happened? I heard there was some young folk, millennials. I guess they were either teenagers or millennials. I don't know. But they were talking real loud and so forth, enjoying themselves. I ain't hating on that. But guess what they said? Girl, and she said, B, come here. And the girl said, oh, girl, you know. And went on and talking. I said, when did you accept that? Listen, I knew folk. Y'all ain't hearing me. If you call them, not enough of you. If you call them the B word, you would be, and it would stop you. just need a witness in this house. And then when he was in, they went in, he said, you called me what? Oh, no, you didn't. And as they were doing that, they were making one motion. They were reaching for something. There was no explanation. There was no more dialogue. It was either put up. You know what they got? When they called up, you know what they say, really, see you. What do you want to be? Because baby, it's all out. It's over now, the lights are out. But now, hey girl, yeah. And then I heard a lady respond to herself, Mother Darkness, and said, you know I'm not that kind of. And something's wrong. Hello, tell somebody, just in case they don't know, because you don't want to hear this. Something is wrong, but God gave it to me. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Got to stop that. Then choose to change. Determine what you don't want to repeat. Hello, can you hear me? Choose to change. Determine what you don't want to repeat. You'll be motivated to change only when you clearly understand the reason why you want to change your life. And your reason is more important to you than any excuses you can make or you have for not changing. Somebody shout and choose to change. Secondly, replace bad habits with new ones. Replace bad habits. That's number two, new ones. Do what? Replace bad habits with what? With new ones. Habits are amazing. A habit. Somebody shout a habit. A habit is a conscious or unconscious activity that we do over and over again. The key word when you're dealing with habit, you think synonym, repetition. Right? Bad habits interrupt your life and prevent you from accomplishing your goals. Bad habits jeopardize your health both mentally and physically, and they waste your time and energy. Bad habits. We need to actively be breaking bad habits right now. Hello, somebody. Oh, you don't like me, but I'm going to preach it anyhow. We need to actively be breaking bad habits. And the good news is that we don't have to do this alone. Oh, God, thank you, Lord. We don't have to do it alone. God offers us the help of His Spirit so we can put a stop to those destructive habits and make life even more productive for our descendants. You see, for our descendants, we've got to think beyond ourselves. God's Spirit, the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit within us can literally change our lives as we move away from those bad habits toward a new Spirit-led nature. So we need to replace those bad habits with what? With new ones. If you may watch this, those of you who are chronically late for work, you need to get up early. Don't set your alarm clock next to your bed. I'm trying to help somebody up here. When I say if you're going to increase what's in your hand, you got to increase what? In your head. I'm not just giving you inspiration, I'm giving you what? Information. Listen, it's important. Move that alarm clock where you have to get up. Where you have to get up. Make up in your mind, I'm going to get up. I'm going to be at work, not on time, but before time. So I won't be rushing. I know how the traffic is going to be. I'm going to start early enough. Because I already shared some things about entrepreneurship. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, then that means, guess what? It means work. Amen. You need to work. Amen. When who's what's that Temptation saying? I'm not too proud to beg. Is that what they sung? That was a song. That was a love song, y'all. That wasn't just say beg the rest of your life. Amen. 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 This is men's month. Brother, man up by getting a job, holding a job, paying bills, being responsible. Is this too much? No. It's not that Number 3, intentionally think generationally. Intentionally think what? Your choices aren't yours alone. Some of you mamas, let your son be around me. Everybody don't capture them and take them anywhere. Amen. Let them be around me so they can learn some stuff. Amen. Amen. Listen, I'm going to share something with you. It's extremely important. It's extremely important that single mom can, watch this, don't get me wrong, that single mom, I've seen it, that single mom can raise a responsible man. Yes, she can. Oh, yes, she can. Hello, somebody. But you know what? It doesn't hurt to have some help. Is that right? I'm talking about being around a responsible man. Don't let him hang around the brother on the corner who's slinging. Amen. 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 Listen, let him be around a man that not around a man who always lies. I'm just gonna get deep. Man, help him to be around a man who's responsible. Amen. A man who's responsible. The reason I asked Doug Redwine to come is because he's accomplished some stuff. Amen. I can celebrate what he's accomplished. Amen. Let me add this caveat. Stop being jealous. Amen. I'm so glad. You know one of the things I'm so glad. Amen. That the Alexanders, amen, that their business is amen, going through the roof. Amen. Amen. I'm glad to see what God is doing in your life. Amen. 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 Don't hate, celebrate, and appreciate it. Amen. The choices and decisions we make don't just affect ourselves. The choices, did you hear me? Listen to me. The choices and decisions we make don't just affect ourselves. They affect others. They affect our children. They affect our grandchildren. They affect future generations yet unborn. Be careful who you let in your house. Be careful who you let within your circle. Hello, somebody. If you let a bad egg in your circle, be careful. Be careful. Be careful. It's been said. You know what it's been said? It's been said that we're always taking our parents and our children with us through our lives. In other words, most decisions you make, that I make, are affected by the deep personal influence of our parents. On the other hand, your lifestyle choices and major decisions will also affect future generations of your family. Right now, you got to be conscious. I know you get to an age where you say, you know what, it's time for me to leave. Well, then, Negro, you should have thought about that when you had the child. Or when you made the child. You should have thought about it then. I want to live a life. I want to let it all hang out. Well, guess what? You are a model or an example for your child or your children. Amen. Amen. Think generationally. Think what? About how your behavior will benefit or harm your descendants, your posterity. Think about it. How your behavior will benefit or harm your descendants. Amen. We need to start buying land. I wish I had a witness. We need to start buying land. These houses, these lots, buy up a lot. They're not going to make no more land. Get it while it's cheap. Get it in. That land you see in Stat 6, don't you know other folk on their way? You better start buying up some land. Buy some land. Spend $5,000, $6,000. That's all it's going to cost anyhow. Get it now. Because guess what? Other folk on the way. Have you seen the roads there? I rest my case. We don't care about traffic circles. But now they got traffic circles on Rosedale. Got them nice lights. Don't have all those wires now. The road is wide. Several lanes now. I wish I had a witness. You could just cruise on down Rosedale. My God. Amen. Amen. And it's not made out of asphalt. It's made out of concrete. Wish I had a witness. And that lets you know that it's called, you know what? There's a family on the way, you know it's called gentrification, man. And you know what? If we don't start waking up while we're busy arguing about whether or not Kanye needs to be in an insane asylum, we need to be about buying up some land. Hello, somebody. Get a loan. What would happen if just the people in here, you would hear me, but if just the people in here would go out and say, you know what, I'm going to buy some land. What would happen? Watch what we did. When I first came here, this was a community. You know what we did? I said, we're going to buy the whole community. That's what I said. Martha, you were here. I said, we're going to buy the whole. There were houses here. I said, we're going to buy the whole community. They've been trying to buy 3316. We ain't selling nothing. Hello, somebody. Mark, I have land in East Texas. Amen. I'm trying to buy a whole block. Amen. You better buy some land. Because that's what they're not going to make. Then finally, and I'm done. You've been patient. Stay focused. I've already told you. Choose to what? Who wrote it down? Choose to what? Change. Choose to change. Should have wrote it down. This is about your life. You choose to change. What else? Replace what? Replace bad habits with new ones. Replace bad habits with new ones. Then number 3, what? Intentionally think what? Think about how is this going to affect my children? How is my new girlfriend? Or my new boyfriend? Hello? Oh, y'all, get quiet for a second. I'm going to help you for real. How's that going to affect your children? Your children. Amen. Is that right? You got to be careful. And I'm not just talking, listen, please hear me. We make a mistake of always, talking about preachers, we make a mistake of always saying sisters don't do, no, men. Amen. Amen. Men, you be careful. Amen. Watch it. Remain focused on doing what God leads you to do each day to move beyond your past destructive life pattern and build a new and healthier life. Dear hearts, look at me. We're only here for a minute. You don't even know it. You remember, how many of you remember when you used to say, I'll be glad when I grow up? Well, you got your wish. Because you're grown now. You are grown right now. And you got to move beyond your past destructive pattern. Listen, I want you to know, you know what this message is not about? This message is not about it's my ancestors' fault. No. I need to put that up there. Bold letters, all caps. No. Don't use that. Because you can choose to change. God doesn't want to see us living a life in bondage. Listen, aim to fulfill God's purposes for yourself every day. Don't be discouraged when your progress seems slow. That's life. Continue to follow where God leads you, trusting that when you look back over a span of time, you'll be able to recognize and appreciate God's steady and deep transforming work in your life. Corey Ten Boom says there's no pit so deep that God's love is not deeper still. She had a witness in this house. Stay focused. Stay focused on where God wants you, where God needs you to do. Open up to what God wants you to like. Open up viscerally and ultimately. Open up to what God. And watch this. If you haven't, let me tell you something. The Lord is not the man upstairs. That's a lie. I'm not the man upstairs. Jesus is not. That's my elder brother. No. Jesus is much more than that. Amen. Jesus is the visible revelation of the invisible God. He's the image of God. Listen, I'm going to share something with you. And you know, we don't know all that God is, but whatever God is, God is at least like Jesus. We don't know all that God is, but whatever God is at least like Jesus. Amen. I need you to hear me. Listen, so develop a meaningful relationship. Stop playing with God. Be not deceived. I wish I had some Bible with it. God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man sows, a woman sows, that shall she also reap. Listen, God sent you here today for a reason. You're dealing with stuff that your parents been dealing with, and your grandparents been dealing with, and your great-grandparents, and you think somehow that you're locked in, that there's nothing, that you're hardwired to destructive patterns, but the devil is a lie. God wants you to know you don't have to be like the Israelites, doing the same thing again. That's what it says, again. You don't have to be like that. You know what God said? You can choose to change. Hello, somebody. You can choose. Watch this. It's hard. I have to choose. My doctor didn't tell me. I have to choose to stop eating grease. My doctor didn't tell me that. Didn't tell me stop. I have to choose that. I have to choose to stop drinking soda pop. I had to choose that. I drink water. I had to choose that. Nobody told me to do. Nobody told me. My doctor didn't. I said, this is what. My doctor didn't give me a doctor. I chose to. You have to make a choice. Choose to change. If you choose to live, you know what that means. You're choosing to change. Watch what you're doing. Become. Then what else I say? Number one, choose to change. What is they moved it in. Number two, what? Number two, what? did I say? Replace old habits with what? Replace bad habits with what? Then number 3. And number 4. Stay focused. Come on, give God a hand praise.